This game might be dying, not because of the terrible anti-cheat or the amount of bugs the game has, but because of their player base. You'd think a game where you have to work together as a team to survive and escape, there'd be a positive community, right? Unfortunately, Dead by Daylight has just the opposite. A lot of Dead by Daylight content creators have already spoken out about the amount of toxicity in the X/Twitter Dead by Daylight community, so I decided to make an account for myself and check it out. And within my first 5 minutes on the Dead by Daylight Twitter community, I saw killers complaining about survivors, survivors complaining about killers, which made me want to ask the question, do people even enjoy this game anymore, or are they just playing this to complain and have something to be angry about? So I do want to start off by saying that I'm not on any particular side. I play both Survivor and Killer, and this is probably going to be my most controversial take of this entire video, but I do think that the Killer vs Survivor is extremely balanced in this game, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me, and that is okay. And I also do think that slugging, camping, and tunneling are all strategic gameplays, and that they are very counterable. For example, for slugging, you can use conviction and unbreakable. For tunneling, you can always use dead hard or decisive strike. There is a lot of counters. Even for camping, there's usually anti-camp as well. So the player base of this game has to be kidding me because the survivors are so entitled. They always complain about the most basic things, for example, the killer perks. Oh, they're too overpowered. Oh, like I don't like pain res, I don't like pop, I don't like ruin, which all got nerfed. They're still pretty good perks, but they did get nerfed. The survivors complain about the skins, they complain about everything. If an update doesn't benefit the survivors of the game, they'll be sure to complain about it. The Dead by Daylight community has been wanting Killer Jason for a pretty long time now, about 10 years, and now that he's got released, people are extremely disappointed, they're unhappy, they're complaining about it again, and it's just like, I don't understand. Like, you're finally getting a new killer, just be grateful. Like, I feel like DVD sets out so many updates, and they really do care about their player base because as soon as a survivor starts complaining about something, boom, it's immediately fixed. The DBD survivor base is genuinely so spoiled and entitled, where if an update doesn't necessarily benefit them in particular, they are disappointed and unhappy. Aside from the survivors being unhappy with the new updates, survivors have also become extremely insufferable in actual matches. So, a lot of the time, survivors like to disconnect from the game when they see a certain killer they don't like. For example, Plague, Billy, Nurse, Blight. A lot of these killers are considered OP, and survivors dodge because they have terrible mentality when it comes to this game. They're like, oh, well, I'm gonna lose, might as well disconnect. And it's like, I did not wait for you to get into my game and disconnect. The amount of times my teammates have just disconnected after the first hook, after seeing a clown, after like genuinely anything, and they really seem to hate their own teammates as well often. The amount of times they sandbag each other, they point their teammates out to the killer if they don't like their teammates. It's genuinely really fucking pathetic to see and really tiring. Not to mention it from a killer perspective, where you wait anywhere between 5 to like 20 minutes for a game, and your survivors end up disconnecting within the first 5 minutes because you're better than them, which honestly is a really big compliment, but it's also really annoying because you waited so long for a game and they just disconnect, often without even bothering to try to play against you. Oh, and don't even get me started on the Survivor rulebook. Now, I understand that the Survivor rulebook is a made up joke, it's for shits and giggles. I understand, it's pretty funny. However, it does originate from the fact that survivors complain about every little thing, and they expect every little thing from the killer. To mention, I've actually seen a couple people at the endgame chat talk about how the killer should follow the Survivor book, and they were being serious, which I was shocked about. But if you don't know what the Survivor book is, basically it's don't cook, don't camp, don't tunnel, don't camp gems. Give the last survivor hatch. that one gets me. Um, respect palettes, don't slug, and then don't bring meta perks, which the perks are in the game for a reason. Don't even get me started on that. That is so bullshit, dude. And not to mention, survivors have gotten so toxic and they feel so obligated to talk trash in the in-game chat to the killers or to their own survivors, often saying nasty things, which this happens in every game, but in Dead by Daylight, oh my gosh. Another thing that is really annoying about Dead by Daylight is some of the content creators, more specifically the TTVs. Now, I understand I'm also a TTV, however, I don't feel entitled to being allowed to win a match just because I'm streaming. I don't think that should ever be a thing. I don't think I should get more leniency because I'm a streamer. I absolutely do not think that. But I've seen a lot of TTVs get upset about how they were killed first, how they were tunneled because they were a TTV. And while I understand that can be frustrating because again I'm a TTV and I'm also a Sable main, which we get a lot of hate. Um, I genuinely just don't think you should let that ruin your day and you should not make that big of a deal about it, especially as someone who is supposed to be a role model for this community. You should not be telling the killers to die or talking shit about them, sending your community after them. While there are a lot of streamers and TTVs who send their community after other people to harass them, or the TTVs themselves like to trash out their own communities, which blows my mind. There are a lot of other streamers who do talk and point out the behavior of these certain TTVs who are making the game a more toxic environment. I do think it's important for these people to be called out as they are promoting toxic behaviors. Now, unfortunately, the killers are not so innocent themselves. A lot of the killers get really upset at seeing survivors with flashlights, seeing survivors with second chance perks, for example, Unbreakable, Dead Hard, Decisive Strike. They, I'm not sure what they expect. Like, do you just want us to stand there and wait for you to come kill us and hit us on the hook? Because I'm pretty sure there's perks in the game so we can play against killers. Otherwise, what's the point of the game if we're just gonna sit there and wait for you to kill us? So just like survivors, the killers also love to DC for whatever reason. If they see a survivor is too good, if they see a swift, so survivor with friends, they love to dodge. They love to DC. They don't want to play that game, so they just leave. Which is unfortunate because they waited all that time and then they just disconnect. But I can understand sometimes when you get like a bully squad, yeah, sure, it's not really fun to play against, but it does make you a little bit better to learn how to play against them. So sometimes not taking the easy way out could actually benefit you. But it's not up to me what killers do or don't. However, what I do get annoyed at is when I'm in a game and the killer just gives up. I looped them for maybe 1 minute, a minute. I'm not even that good at this game, and I've looped them for 1 minute, and they just give up. I've had killers genuinely get up and walk to the corner of the map and stay there for the rest of the game. What? Another thing I also don't understand is when killers see a survivor that the general public community of Dead by Daylight doesn't like, for example, Stables, which in my case, this has happened to me way too many times. They will dedicate the entire game to getting that one person out, all because they're playing a character that they don't like. I don't understand the point of that or what you personally gain from that. Again, it's not that big of a deal to me, but for newer people who have just started playing DBD and they're playing those characters that the killers might not like, come on, it's just such an asshole thing to do. So I started playing Dead by Daylight over a year ago, and my first survivor main was actually Sable, who I still play to this day because I enjoy her cosmetics and I really like her as a character. But the DBD community was not happy with me. I would get tunneled, I would get hit on hook, I would get camped, slugged, you name it, it's happened. And I don't necessarily have a problem with it because to me, this is just a game and I don't really take it that serious. However, there are survivors who are just starting out this game looking for a fun way to enjoy their afternoon with their friends or just solo queue some fun games. And for them to just be slugged and camped and tunneled and hit on the hook just for playing a character, which brings me to my next point that Dead by Daylight is not beginner friendly. So, due to the MMR in this game, hidden or not, some people think there is, some people think there isn't an MMR. I personally do think that there is a bit of a hidden MMR. New players do not have the opportunity to play with other new players who are just learning. A lot of new players end up in lobbies with people who have thousands of hours, and those people with thousands of hours are not trying to teach a bunch of people who just started the game how to play, so they get frustrated and they take out their anger on the newer players. For example, I had a friend who just started playing the game because I introduced her to it and I wanted to spend some time with her playing this game because I enjoyed the game. Unfortunately, at the end of some matches, people would tell her to uninstall the game. They would tell her to off herself, they would call her names, which of course ended up discouraging her from wanting to continue to play the game, and she quit within her first week in the Dead by Daylight community. Anyways, I'm not making this video to bash the DVD survivors, killers, TTVs, or anyone in general. I just want to bring a little bit of light to the community that I'm seeing personally, and things that I genuinely think should be solved. Another thing I do think that is really important to discuss is how the survivors of this game are so busy complaining about new killers, new survivors, the perks, everything. Yet we are not talking enough about the bugs in this game. A lot of the times when I'm trying to loop a killer, I'm vaulting a pallet, I'm on the other side of the pallet, I'm still getting hit while I'm on the other side of the pallet. Sorry, can we just, like, Dead by Daylight, can you do something about that? I also do want to note that this video is not to bash or hurt anyone's feelings. This is no hate to survivor mains, killer mains, TTVs, or anyone else who I've mentioned in this video. This video is just to highlight things that I've noticed within the community that I do think should be talked about more often and brought to light. I personally, these are all my opinions and my opinions alone. So I do not mean to hurt anyone's feelings with this video. Just bringing some light to some situations that I do think need more attention. Yes, people already covered these videos on a daily basis, but I also wanted to put my 2 cents in here. I do often talk about the issues of Dead by Daylight that I think need to be fixed in my streams, and I just thought I would make a video instead of repeating myself about 10 times a day. So yeah, I do think that survivor mains have gotten to the point where they're just extremely entitled and toxic. I also think the same for some killer mains, a lot of killer mains actually, and TTVs as well, which I'm thinking of making like a whole new video for TTVs alone because I've noticed a lot of negative things within the whole TTV community as well. There's a lot of toxic TTVs, a lot of disrespectful people. But aside from the whole TTV situation that I might make another video talking about, which I honestly don't think it's really my place to, and I'm not really that in tune with other streamers' content, as I personally really watch any streams. Um, but yeah, I might make a video or two about them because I do really think that the TTV community has a big impact on the Dead by Daylight community as a whole. I also want to mention that if you heard me stutter throughout this video or mispronounce some words, I do get kind of nervous when I speak about things that I find to be a little bit controversial, but I still wanted to put my opinion out there. One more thing that I want to talk about is that it is okay for you to have a different opinion than me. As I said earlier, this entire video is my opinion alone. If you agree with me, that's nice. If you don't, that's also okay. This video is not to start a debate or anything. This video is just to share my opinions alone. So if you disagree with my opinions, that is completely okay, and I will probably not take any offense to it. But you're more than welcome to let me know if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, what you disagree on, what you agree on. I would love to read your comments. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully, I was able to make a couple of good points on what I personally think that the community is starting to become extremely entitled and even a little bit toxic. Anyways, that is all for today's video. Please remember to go out there and spread some positivity and have yourself an amazing day. Goodbye.